I'm Gregory Hamer Sr. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. My understanding was we lived there till I was about 6 weeks old. My dad was a welder, and he followed the work. And then from there, they moved to Baton Rouge. They lived in Baton Rouge for a while, and then across South Louisiana in several spots over around Abbeville. He was doing pipelines, and then back to East Texas, where he was from in Liberty County, right outside of Houston. We lived in Port Neches first, where my brother was born. Then we moved to Dayton in Liberty County, and those are really my first memories. We lived there until I was almost 6, and then we moved to Morgan City that summer.
I am Brenda Connor Hamer. It's very dull because I grew up right here in Morgan City. I didn't move anywhere. I led a very simple life. I went to Shannon Elementary School, walked to school. Then I went to Morgan City High, walked over there. Played in the band from 4th grade to 12th grade. Was a majorette in the band. Played basketball 4 years in high school.
Her athletic ability was a lot better than mine.
Oh,
And
you had a bad back.
The newspaper named her Radar because she made a lot of points.
I made the outside points, and when it was a simple layup, I couldn't do the simple layups.
I was a freshman in high school, so that was 60. First year, I didn't really know anybody because we transferred late, so my lockers weren't with other freshmen. And then my sophomore year, they moved me with the other sophomores where they did the halls. So she had a hall with lockers with all the sophomores on it. And her best friend was named Gidry, so we wound up with lockers next to each other. And that's, I guess, when I first met her, was she'd come over to her friend's locker. And then later came time for prom. We wound up being on the same prom committee. And one day I asked her to, if she wanted to ride home after the meeting. And so we did, and we got 2 blocks. We stopped and got an ice cream cone. And when we were blocked from her house, I stopped at a stop sign. And she reaches over as I go to lick my ice cream and goes,
I don't know what made me do that, Greg.
Ice cream all over my face. So that was, I guess you would say that was our first date. It was not.
I don't know, you just had to be there.
January 1965, we went to the Cotton Bowl, and my dad took the family and invited her to go.
We go into Moisane Airport, okay, and we're late. And he goes up to the counter. My father-in-law was a very big man. He was
as big as me, but he had a bigger frame. He was a bigger frame. He had a bigger chest.
You know, he smoked a big cigar. You know, he's bigger than life. So we get there, and they tell him, well, Mr. Hamer, the gate is closed, and y'all missed the flight. I kid you not. He grabs that man by the tie, and he says, you stop that airplane, and you let us on. You open those gates back.
And we're all just shocked standing there. And they reopened the plane, told us to go to the plane. They held the plane. I mean, he'd be in jail. I mean, be under the jail today, you do something like that in an airport.
But anyway, we get on the plane. Now, we're flying coach, their first class, Mr. and Mrs. Hamer. It was something. That was my very first flight in the whole, you know, whatever.
She'd never been on a plane.
We went to the Cotton Bowl, and we played Arkansas in the Cotton Bowl, the Suey Pigs, and they were undefeated for 2 years, I think, something like that.
National champion.
And we beat him, and then he asked me to marry him.
So I finished my last exam, got in my car, drove home, had my rehearsal supper that night, and got married the next day. I'd always thought when I got out of college that either a ranch-style filling station or a fast food restaurant would be an interesting thing to be in. They were just getting started when I got out of school, but then I went in the family business. Well, 10 years later in Morgan City, we had everything else that was here. As far as fast food, they had ranch-style filling stations. They had all of that. So only thing they didn't have was Mexican. I sat down at my office one day, and I picked up the phone and called information in New Orleans and asked them for a taco restaurant. And they came back, and the operator said, well, we have 2. We have Taco Bell and Taco Tico. And that's where God put his hand on my shoulder, because I said, let's go alphabetically. And I never called Taco Tico. I called Taco Bell with that first number. We opened the first restaurant here in Morgan City. We're about to buy 12 more, and so we'll be over 200 restaurants, just Taco Bells. We've had two runs with bankruptcy attorneys, and fortunately, both times we never saw a courtroom. We were able to turn things around and
hadn't been easy, but
pay our bills.
Yeah, didn't leave anybody with owing them money.
I like traveling. She humors me by coming.
Well,
but now she's getting to where she says, find somebody else to take with you. Valerie and I went to Israel together, and then my brother and I went to a World War II trip to the Philippines last year, and then we went to Australia, and then last year we went back to Australia and did a trip to the Solomon Islands, Guadalcanal,
we
and
went
then
to Hawaii
New Guinea.
to see in-laws when they were still in Hawaii. On our 50th wedding anniversary was 2017. We took the whole crew to Rome, and then we did Tuscany. It's like herding goats, though. Next time, we'll pay for everything, but y'all schedule it. We're not going to do
take care
that.
of your family. We'll meet on this day, this place, and you bring your family, and we'll just take the two of us.
The most enjoyment we get is being with them.
Be appreciative of what you got, and realize that there's a whole lot of people that aren't near as fortunate. And but for the will of God, you never know what's going to happen.
We've come close twice to losing everything.
I've always thought you need three things. You need to be fairly competent in what you're trying to do. You need to work your tail off. And you need to have a little luck.
I don't know if we'd have made it without our faith. I really don't. I guess I just got to be optimistic. You got to think things are going to be okay. I hope and pray too. I want it for y'all. 'Cause y'all going to be living in it.